Chapter 28. Chapters on Hunting. Chapter 1. Killing dogs except dogs used for hunting or farming. It was narrated from Abdullah bin Mughaffal that the Messenger of Allah commanded that dogs be killed. Then he said, "What do they use dogs for?" Then he permitted them to keep hunting dogs. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Abdullah bin Mughaffal that the Messenger of Allah commanded that dogs be killed. Then he said, "What do they use dogs for?" Then he permitted them to keep farming dogs. And dogs of Ain Bundar said, the Ain refers to the walls of Al-Madinah. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Ibn Umar said, the Messenger of Allah commanded that dogs be killed. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Salim that his father said, I heard the Messenger of Allah raising his voice and commanding that dogs be killed, and dogs were killed, except for hunting dogs or dogs kept for herding livestock. Great Sahih. Chapter 2. The prohibition of keeping dogs except for dogs used for hunting, farming or herding livestock. It was narrated that Abu Huraira said, the Messenger of Allah said, whoever keeps a dog, 1 qirat will be deducted from him good deeds every day, except a dog for farming or herding livestock. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Abdullah bin Mughaffal that the Messenger of Allah said, were it not that dogs form one of the communities or nations of creatures, I would have commanded that they be killed, but kill those that are all black. There are no people who keep a dog except for dogs used for herding livestock, hunting or farming, but 2 qirat will be deducted from their reward each day. Great Hassan. It was narrated that Sufyan bin Abu Suhair said, I heard the Prophet say, whoever keeps a dog that he does not need for farming or herding, 1 qirat will be deducted from his good deeds each day. Great Sahih. Chapter 3. Game caught by a dog. It was narrated that Abu Falaba al-Kushani said, I came to the Messenger of Allah and said, O Messenger of Allah, we live in a land of the people of the book, and we eat from their vessels, and we live in a land where there is game, so I hunt with my bow and with my trained dog and with my untrained dog. The Messenger of Allah said, as for what you say about living in a land of the people of the book, do not eat from their vessels unless you can find no alternative. If you can find no alternative, then wash them and eat from them. With regard to what you say about hunting, whatever you catch with your bow, say the name of Allah over it and eat. Whatever you catch with your trained dog, say the name of Allah over it and eat. But whatever you catch with your untrained dog, then catch it, slaughter it and eat. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Adi bin Hatim said, I asked the Messenger of Allah, we are people who hunt with these dogs. He said, if you send out your trained dogs and mention the name of Allah over them, then eat whatever they catch, even if they kill it, unless the dog has eaten any of it. If the dog has eaten any of it, then do not eat it, for I fear that it will have caught it for itself, and if another dog joins it, then do not eat it. Great Sahih. Chapter 4. Game caught by the dog of the Zoroastrians and the all-black dog. It was narrated that Jabir bin Abdullah said, we were forbidden to eat the game caught by their dogs and birds, meaning the Zoroastrians. Great Daif. It was narrated that Abu Dar said, I asked the Messenger of Allah about the all-black dog, and he said, it is a devil. Great Sahih. Chapter 5. Game caught with a bow. It was narrated from Abu Falaba that the Prophet said, eat what your bow brings you. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Adi bin Hatim said, I said, O Messenger of Allah, we are people who shoot arrows. He said, if you shoot and pierce the game, then eat what you pierced. Great Sahih. Chapter 6. Game that vanishes at night after being struck. It was narrated that Adi bin Hatim said, I said, O Messenger of Allah, what if I shoot the game but it vanishes at night? He said, if you find your arrow in it, and you do not find anything else, then eat it. Great Sahih. Chapter 7. Hunting with a mirad. It was narrated that Adi bin Hatim said, I asked the Messenger of Allah about hunting with mirad. He said, whatever it struck with its sharp edge, then eat it. But what is struck with its side is something that has been killed by a violent blow. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Adi bin Hatim said, I asked the Messenger of Allah about mirad. He said, do not eat unless you pierce the game. Great Sahih. Chapter 8. What is cut from an animal when it is still alive? It was narrated from Ibn Umar that the Prophet said, whatever is cut from an animal when it is still alive, what is cut from it is Majah, dead meat. Great Hassan. It was narrated that Tamim Dari said, the Messenger of Allah said, at the end of time there will be people who will cut off camels' humps and sheep's tails, but what is cut from a living animal is dead. Great Daif. Chapter 9. Hunting fish and locusts. It was narrated from Abdullah bin Umar that the Messenger of Allah said, two kinds of dead meat have been permitted to us, fish and locusts. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Salman said, the Messenger of Allah was asked about locusts. He said, they are the most numerous troop of Allah. I neither eat them nor forbid them. Great Daif. It was narrated that Abu Sa'id Bakal heard Anas bin Malik say, the wives of the Prophet used to give each other gifts of locusts and on trays. Great Daif. It was narrated from Jabir and Anas bin Malik that whenever the Messenger of Allah supplicated against the locusts, he said, O Allah, destroy their large ones and kill their small ones. Spoil their eggs and root them out. Take their mouths away from our livelihood and provision, for you are the one who hears the prayers. A man said, O Messenger of Allah, are you praying against one of the troops of Allah, that they may be rooted out? He said, locusts were sneezed out by the fish in the sea. Great Daif. It was narrated that Abu Huraira said, we went out with the Prophet for Hajj or Umrah, and we encountered a swarm of locusts or a type of locust. We started hitting them without whips and sandals. The Prophet said, eat them, for they are the game of the sea. Great Daif. Chapter 10. What it is forbidden to kill. It was narrated that Abu Huraira said, the Messenger of Allah forbade killing shrikes, frogs, ants and hopus. Great Daif. It was narrated that Ibn Abbas said, the Messenger of Allah forbade killing 4 kinds of animals, ants, bees, hopus and shrikes. Great Daif. It was narrated from Abu Huraira that the Prophet of Allah said, one of the prophets was bitten by an ant, so he ordered that the ant colony be burned. Then Allah revealed to him, because one ant bit you, you destroy one of the nations that glorify Allah. Another chain reports a similar hadith. Great Sahih. Chapter 11. Prohibition of throwing small pebbles. It was narrated from Sa'id bin Jubair that a relative of Abdullah bin Mughaffal threw some small pebbles. He told him not to do that and said, the Prophet forbade throwing small pebbles and said, they do not kill any game nor hurt the enemy, but they can break a tooth or put out an eye. He did it again, and he, Abdullah, said, I tell you that the Prophet forbade that, and then you go and do it again. I will never speak to you again. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Abdullah bin Mughaffal said, the Prophet forbade throwing small pebbles and said, they do not kill any game or hurt the enemy, but they can break a tooth or put out an eye. Great Sahih. Chapter 12. Killing house lizards. It was narrated from Sharik that the Prophet told her to kill house lizards. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Abu Huraira that the Messenger of Allah said, whoever kills a house lizard with one blow will have such and such a reward. Whoever kills it with 2 blows will have such and such a reward, less than the first. And whoever kills it with 3 blows will have such and such reward, less than that mentioned the second time. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Aisha that the Messenger of Allah said concerning house lizards, vermin. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Saiba, the freed slave woman of Faqih bin Mughira, that she entered upon Aisha and saw a spear in her house. She said, O mother of the believers, what do you do with this? She said, we kill these house lizards with it. For the Prophet of Allah told us that when Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, there was no beast on earth that did not try to put it out, apart from the house lizard that blew on it. So the Messenger of Allah commanded that they should be killed. Great Hassan. Chapter 13. Eating any predatory animal that has fangs. It was narrated from Abu Falaba al-Kushani that the Prophet forbade eating any predatory animal that has fangs. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Abu Huraira that the Prophet said, eating any predatory animal that has fangs is unlawful. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Ibn Abbas said, on the day of Khaybar, the Messenger of Allah forbade eating any predatory animal that has fangs and any bird that has talons. Great Daif. Chapter 14. Wolves and Foxes. It was narrated that Kusayma bin Jas said, I said, O Messenger of Allah, I have come to ask you about the vermin of the earth. What do you say about foxes? He said, who eats foxes? I said, O Messenger of Allah, what do you say about wolves? He said, does anyone in whom there is anything good eat wolves? Great Daif. Chapter 15. Hyenas. It was narrated that Ibn Abu Ammar, who is Abdur Rahman, said, I asked Jabir bin Abdullah about hyenas. Are they game that can be hunted? He said, yes. I said, can I eat them? He said, yes. I said, is this something that you heard from the Messenger of Allah? He said, yes. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Kusayma bin Jas said, I said, O Messenger of Allah, what do you say about hyenas? He said, who eats hyenas? Great Daif. Chapter 16. Messenger. It was narrated that Thabit bin Yazid al-Ansari said, we were with the Prophet and the people caught a messenger. They grilled it and ate from it. Then I caught a messenger, so I grilled it and brought it to the Prophet. He took a palm stalk and started counting his finger with it, and said, a nation from among the children of Israel was turned into beasts of the earth, and I do not know if this is they. I said, the people have grilled them and eaten them. He did not eat it, and he did not forbid it. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Jabir bin Abdullah. The Prophet did not forbid eating messengers, but he found that distasteful. It is the food of most shepherds, and Allah, the Mighty and Sublime, has benefited more than one person thereby. If I had some, I would eat it. Another chain reports a similar hadith. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said, a man from among Alus Sufa called the Messenger of Allah when he had finished the prayer, saying, O Messenger of Allah, our land is a land infested with messengers. What do you think of eating messengers? He said, I have heard that a nation was transformed. He did not tell us to eat them, and he did not forbid that. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Khalid bin Walid that a grilled messenger was brought to the Messenger of Allah and placed near him. He stretched out his hand to eat some of it. Then those who were present said, O Messenger of Allah, it is the flesh of a messenger. He took his hand away, and Khalid said to him, O Messenger of Allah, is a messenger unlawful? He said, No, but it is not found in my land, and I find it distasteful. He said, Then Khalid bent over the messenger and ate some of it, and the Messenger of Allah was looking at him. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Ibn Umar that the Messenger of Allah said, I do not forbid it, meaning messenger. Great Sahih. Chapter 17. Rabbits. It was narrated that Anas bin Malik said, We passed by Mar as-Saran and startled a rabbit. They chased it but got tired, so I chased it and caught it. I brought it to Abu Talha, who slaughtered it and sent its rump and thigh to the Prophet, who accepted it. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Muhammad bin Safwan that he passed by the Prophet with 2 rabbits hanging down. He said, O Messenger of Allah, I caught these 2 rabbits, but I cannot find any iron with which to slaughter them with marva and eat them. He said, Eat. Great Sahih. It was narrated that Kusayma bin Jas said, I said, O Messenger of Allah, I have come to you to ask you about the vermin of the earth. What do you say about messengers? He said, I do not eat them, and I do not forbid them. I said, I will eat of that which you have not forbidden. But why do you not eat them, O Messenger of Allah? He said, one of the nations was turned into beasts, and I looked at this creature and was uncertain. I said, O Messenger of Allah, what do you say about rabbits? He said, I do not eat them, and I do not forbid them. I said, I will eat of that which you have not forbidden. But why do you not eat them, O Messenger of Allah? He said, I have been told that it menstruates. Great Daif. Chapter 18. Game of the sea that rises to the surface. Mughira bin Abi Burda, who was of the tribe of Banu Abd Dar, narrated that he heard Abu Huraira say, The Messenger of Allah said, The water of the sea is a means of purification, and its dead meat is permissible. Great Sahih. It was narrated from Jabir bin Abdullah that the Messenger of Allah said, Whatever the sea throws out or is left behind, when the tide ebbs, eat it, but whatever rises to its surface, do not eat it. Great Daif. Chapter 19. Crows. It was narrated that Ibn Umar said, Who eats crows? The Messenger of Allah called them vermin. By Allah, they are not from among the good and permissible things. Great Hassan. It was narrated from Aisha that the Messenger of Allah said, Snakes are vermin, scorpions are vermin, mice are vermin, and crows are vermin. Great Sahih. Chapter 20. Cats. It was narrated that Jabir said, "The Messenger of Allah forbade eating cats and he forbade their price." Great Sahih.